They lied. The UN Immigration Pact is legally binding and could be valid for all countries. Imagine my shock. I called it a couple of days ago. I said that they were going to try and backflip on this, but this whole, it's not compulsory, it's but let's jump into it. They lied. For months, proponents of the UN Migration Pact told us the pact was non-binding, and the response to many citizens of the nation-states worldwide have signed the country-specific petitions that it was non-binding, so there's nothing to worry about was ever going to be good. It was going to be good. The immense, opposed and disastrous documentation declares unlimited migration to be treated as a human right, therefore depicting the term illegal migrants and criminalizing any criticism of migrants as hate speech. The points that raised the alarm for most was it seeks to eliminate all forms of dissent. Media organizations, for example, should they criticize anything to do with migration, would lose access to state funding. People would be labelled as racist or guilty of hate speech, which will now be criminalised. This pact will literally erase our borders. The question I've been asking is if the countries can refuse to sign, are they still bound to be by being the members of the UN? Most people were of the mind that it would only affect the signatories. Now we know. In a frank exchange with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Mr. Husbands of the AfD drew an admission that is, in its fact, legally binding, as well as it be adopted as the rule for all UN member states once enacted. So even if you don't sign for it, you've got to abide by it. This is fucked up, it really is. Mr. Husbands asked, can you see for yourself clearly that during the conference the spokesman for Morocco emphasized the agreement was legally binding? He said clearly in a literal sense that there is a corresponding legal bond for all nations to take part as well as an obligation of implementation. You and your delegation did not raise a single word of objection to that statement, but Italy accepted it. I would like to emphasize that the Parliament motion was not presented at the conference. Ms. Merkel's response did not only confirm what we at the Voice of Europe have been suspecting all along, the claim is indeed binding, but that once voted and accepted by valid for all. So then, during the UN General Assembly next week, the pact will once again be up for debate and decision will be made on whether to accept it. At this time, a member state can demand a vote. When 2/3 of the respondent countries agree, then it's valid for all. That's how a majority decision works. Look, at the end of the day, guys, look, I would be under the impression, or what I would do if I was Prime Minister, is simply this. If you are going to force countries to accept this, even though they have not signed it, then leave the EU, leave the UN, leave all these things. I would much rather Australia, Russia, America, France, the UK all sign a non-aggression pact. That to me would have more weight than anything the UN can do. So my question is this. Why are we a part of the UN? What is the benefit for us as a part of the UN? It used to be a thing to stop Russia from attacking, the other nations and stuff like that. The whole Cold War, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's kind of relevant. It's useless now. There's no Cold War going on. It's Russia's not even a part of the UN as far as I'm aware. So at the end of the day, what's the point? What's the point in this whole UN? Is it just a way for them to rule over countries? Because if that's the case, then why are we a part of it? Personally, I would just leave. I would say toodaloo, ta-ta for now, and walk out and not come back. And I would sit down with Putin, Trump, any other prime minister that was interested, and sign a non-aggression pact. That would be my idea. But guys, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the UN? Should we leave the UN? Should Australia, America, all these countries leave? Is there a reason to stay in the UN? Or are we better off walking away if they try and push these stupid laws? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great day and enjoy.